Zoom Shakespeare Productions and Wandering Moose present Peter Pan, or The Boy Who Never Grew Up, by J.M. Barrie. Adapted and directed by Rebecca Bernstein. Episode 1. The Nursery. All children, except one, grow up. They soon know that they will grow up, and the way Wendy knew was this. One day when she was 2 years old, she was playing in a garden, and she plucked another flower and ran with it to her mother. I suppose she must have looked rather delighted, for Mrs. Darling put her hand up to her heart and cried,
"Oh, why can't you remain like this forever?"
This was all that passed between them on the subject. But henceforth Wendy knew she must grow up. You always know after you are 2. 2 is the beginning of the end.
I won't go to bed. I won't. Nana, it isn't 6 o'clock yet. 2 minutes more. Please, 1 minute more. Nana, I won't be bathed. I tell you, I will not be bathed.
Who are you? Oh, no one there. I feel sure I saw a face. Oh, my children! John! Randy!
We are doing an act. Wendy and I are playing at being you and father. A little less noise there.
Now let us pretend we have a baby.
I'm happy to inform you, Mrs. Darling, that you are now a mother. You've missed the chief thing. You haven't asked boy or girl.
Girl.
Ugh.
You are horrid.
Oh, here you are, Mary.
What is the matter, George, dear?
Matter? This tie! It will not tie! Not round my neck. Round the bedpost, oh yes, 20 times I've made it up round the bedpost, but round my neck, oh dear no. Begs to be excused.
Say it again, Father. Say it again.
Thank you, Michael. I warn you, Mary, that unless this tie is round my neck, we don't go out to dinner tonight. And if I don't go out to dinner tonight, I never go to the office again. And if I don't go to the office again, you and I starve and our children will be thrown into the streets.
Let me try, dear.
Thank you, Mary.
I won't be bathed. You needn't think about it.
Go and be bathed at once, sir.
It is your bedtime, Michael.
Mother, how did you get to know me?
A little less noise there.
At what time was I born, Mother?
At 2 o'clock in the night time, dearest.
Oh, Mother, I hope I didn't wake you.
They are rather sweet, don't you think, George?
There is not their equal on earth, and they are ours. Ours. But I sometimes think, Mary, that it is a mistake to have a dog for a nurse.
George, Nana is a treasure.
No doubt, but I have an uneasy feeling at times that she looks upon the children as puppies.
Oh, no, dear one. I'm sure she knows they have souls.
I wonder.
George, we must keep Nana. I will tell you why. My dear, when I came into this room tonight, I saw a face at the window.
Her face at the window, 3 floors up. Poh!
It was the face of a little boy. He was trying to get in. George, this is not the first time I have seen that boy.
Oh ho!
Shh! The first time was a week ago. It was Nana's night out, and I had been drowsing here by the fire when suddenly I felt a draught, as if the window were open. I looked round and I saw that boy in the room.
In the room?
Shh! Shh! I screamed, and just then Nana came back, and she at once sprang at him. The boy leapt for the window. She pulled down the sash quickly, but it was too late to catch him.
I thought so.
Wait, the boy escaped, but his shadow had no time to get out. Down came the window and cut it clean off.
Mary, Mary, Mary. Why didn't you keep that shadow?
I did. I rolled it up, George, and here it is.
It is nobody I know, but he does look like a scoundrel.
I think he comes back to get his shadow, George.
I dare say. There is money in this, my love. I shall take it to the British Museum tomorrow and have it priced.
George, I have not told you all. I'm afraid to.
Oh, what is it?
The boy was not alone that first time. He was accompanied by I don't know how to describe it, by a ball of light, not as big as my fist, but it darted about the room like a living thing.
That is very unusual. It escaped with the boy.
Yes. George, what can all this mean?
What indeed? What is that, Nana? Ah, of course. Michael, it is your medicine.
Won't take it.
I'll get you a lovely chocky to take after it.
Mary, don't pamper him. When I was your age, Michael, I took medicine without a murmur. I said, thank you, kind parents, for giving me bottles to make me well.
That medicine you sometimes take is much nastier, isn't it, Father?
Ever so much nastier. And as an example to you, Michael, I would take it now, if I hadn't lost the bottle.
I know where it is, Father. I'll fetch it.
John, it is the most beastly stuff. It is that sticky, sweet kind.
Never mind, Father. It'll soon be over.
Here it is, Father. I've been as quick as I could.
You have been wonderfully quick. Precious quick.
Michael, now you will see how Father takes it. I thought you took it quite easily, Father, saying, thank you, kind parents, for...
That's not the point. The point is that there is more in my glass than in Michael's spoon. It isn't fair. I swear, though it were my last breath, it is not fair.
Father, I'm waiting.
Why not take it at the same time?
Certainly. Are you ready, Michael?
1, 2, 3.
Father hasn't taken his.
Oh, Father!
What do you mean by, oh, father? Stop that row, Michael. I meant to take it, but I missed it. I say, I've just thought of a splendid joke. I shall pour my medicine into Nana's bowl, and she will drink it thinking it is milk.
Poor darling Nana.
You silly little things. To your beds, every one of you. I'm ashamed of you.
Well, is it all over?
All over, dear. Quite satisfactorily. Nana, good dog. Good girl. I've put a little milk into your bowl.
What's the matter, Nana?
Nothing.
George! It is your medicine! Oh, no.
Father!
Nana.
It was only a joke.
Father, Nana's crying.
Coddle her. Nobody coddles me. Oh dear, no, I'm only the breadwinner. Why should I be coddled? Why? I refuse to allow that dog to lord it in my nursery for 1 hour longer. In vain. The proper place for you is in the yard. And there you go to be tied up this instant.
George, remember what I told you about that boy?
Am I the master of this house, or is she? Come along.
Be brave, my dears.
He is chaining Nana up.
She is awfully unhappy.
That is not Nana's unhappy bark. That is her bark when she smells danger.
Danger? Are you sure, Windy?
Oh, yes.
Can anything harm us, Mother, after the night lights are lit?
Nothing, precious. They are the eyes a mother leaves behind her to guard her children. Now, good night, my dears. Good night, Michael. Mwah. Good night, John. Mwah. Good night, Wendy, my dear. Mwah. Dear night lights that protect my sleeping babes, burn clear and steadfast tonight.
Number 27, their destination for the night, was only a few yards distant, but there had been a slight fall of snow, and Father and Mother Darling picked their way over it deftly, not to soil their shoes. So as soon as the door of number 27 closed on Mr. and Mrs. Darling, there was a commotion in the firmament, and the smallest of all the stars in the Milky Way exclaimed, "Now, Peter!"
Tinkerbell! Tink, are you there? Oh, do come out of that jug. Do you know where they put it? Which big box? This one? But which drawer? Yes, do show me.
Boy, why are you crying?
What's your name?
Wendy Moira Angela Darling. What's yours?
Peter Pan.
Is that all?
Yes.
I'm so sorry.
Doesn't matter.
Where do you live?
Second to the right and then straight on till morning.
What a funny address.
No, it isn't.
I mean, is that what they put on the letters?
Don't get any letters.
But your mother gets letters.
Don't have a mother.
Peter!
You mustn't touch me.
Why?
No one must ever touch me.
Why?
I don't know.
No wonder you were crying.
I wasn't crying, but I can't get my shadow to stick on.
It has come off. How awful. Oh, it must be sewn on.
What does that mean?
You are dreadfully ignorant.
No, I'm not.
I will sew it on for you, my little man. But we must have more light. Sit here. I dare say it will hurt a little.
I never cry. It isn't quite itself yet.
Perhaps I should have ironed it. Ah, there we are.
Wendy, look, oh, the cleverness of me.
Of course, I did nothing.
You did a little.
A little. If I am of no use, I can bid you good night.
Wendy, don't withdraw. I can't help crowing, Wendy, when I'm pleased with myself. Wendy, one girl is worth more than 20 boys.
You really think so, Peter?
Yes, I do.
I think it's perfectly sweet of you. And I shall get up again. I shall give you a kiss if you like.
Thank you. You may put it in my hand, Wendy.
Don't you know what a kiss is?
I shall know when you give it to me.
Oh, I have my thimble.
Thank you. Now shall I give you a kiss?
If you please. An acorn. I will wear it on this chain round my neck, Peter. How old are you?
I don't know, but I am quite young. I ran away the day I was born. I heard Father and Mother talking of what I was to be when I became a man. I always wanted to be a little boy and to have fun, so I ran away to Kensington Gardens and lived a long time among the fairies.
You know fairies, Peter?
Yes, but they are nearly all dead now. You see, Wendy, when the first baby laughed for the first time, the laugh broke into 1,000 pieces and they all went skipping about, and that was the beginning of fairies. And now when every new baby is born, its first laugh becomes a fairy. So there ought to be one fairy for every boy or girl.
Ought to be. Isn't there?
Oh no. Children know such a lot now. Soon they don't believe in fairies, and every time a child says, "I don't believe in fairies," there is a fairy somewhere that falls down dead.
Poor things.
Can't think where she's gone. Tinkerbell! Tink, where are you?
Peter, you don't mean to tell me there is a fairy in this room?
She came with me. You don't hear anything, do you?
I hear... The only sound I hear is like a tinkle of bells.
That's the fairy language. I hear it too.
It seems to be coming from over there.
Wendy, I believe I shut her up in that drawer. You needn't say that, Tink. I'm very sorry, but how could I know you were in the drawer?
She's quite lovely. What does she say?
Nothing, really. She's not very polite. She says you are a great ugly girl and that she is my fairy. You know, Tink, you can't be my fairy because I am a gentleman and you are a lady.
Where do you live now?
With the Lost Boys.
Who are they?
They are the children who fall out of their prams when the nurse is looking the other way. If they're not claimed in 7 days, they are sent far away to the Neverland. I'm the captain.
What fun it must be.
Yes, but we are rather lonely. You see, Wendy, we have no female companionship.
Are none of the other children girls?
Oh no. Girls, you know, are much too clever to fall out of their prams.
Peter, it is perfectly lovely the way you talk about girls. John there just despises us. You wicked, you are not the captain here. After all, he wasn't awakened, and you meant to be kind. Peter, why did you come to our nursery window?
To try to hear stories. None of us knows any stories.
How perfectly awful.
Wendy, your mother was telling you such a lovely story.
Which story was it?
About the prince, and he couldn't find the lady who wore the glass slipper.
That was Cinderella. Peter, he found her, and they were happy ever after.
I'm glad.
Where are you going?
To tell the other boys.
Don't go, Peter. I know lots of stories. Stories I could tell to the boys.
Come on, we'll fly.
Fly? You can fly.
Wendy, come with me.
Oh dear, I mustn't. Think of Mother. Besides, I can't fly.
I'll teach you.
How lovely to fly.
I'll teach you how to jump on the wind's back, and then away we go. Wendy, when you are sleeping in your silly bed, you might be flying about with me, saying funny things to the stars. There are mermaids, Wendy, with long tails. Wendy, how we should all respect you.
Of course, it's awfully fascinating. Would you teach John and Michael to fly too?
If you like.
John, wake up. There is a boy here who is to teach us to fly.
Is there? Then I shall get up. Hello, I'm up.
Michael, open your eyes. This boy is to teach us to fly.
I say, can you really fly?
Look!
Oh, how sweet.
How do you do it?
You just think lovely, wonderful thoughts, and they lift you up in the air.
You're so nippy at it. Couldn't you do it very slowly once? Oh, I've got it now, Wendy. Oh, no.
I must blow the fairy dust on you first. Now try. Try from the bed. Just wiggle your shoulders this way and then let go.
I flew!
Oh, lovely.
How ripping!
I do like it.
Look at me.
It was just at this moment that Mr. and Mrs. Darling hurried with Nana out of 27. They ran into the middle of the street to look up at the nursery window. And yes, it was still shut, but the room was ablaze with light, and most heart-gripping sight of all, they could see in the shadow on the curtain 3 little figures in night attire circling round and round, not on the floor, but in the air. Not 3 figures, but 4. Will they reach the nursery in time? If so, how delightful for them, and we shall all breathe a sigh of relief. But there would be no story.
Second star to the right and straight on till morning. Now come.
Mr. and Mrs. Darling and Nana rushed into the nursery too late. The birds had flown. This episode featured the voices of Karen Fulda as the narrator, Amelia Templeton as Mrs. Darling, Megan McCaughey as Michael, Megan Golden Avocado as John, Nicole Sabin as Wendy, Alex Goldrich as Mr. Darling, Luna Avocado as Nana, and Tyler Holmes as Peter Pan.